Hello guys, my name is Fred Smith and this is my project. The title is Sea Turtles Fibropapilloma Tumors Share Genetic Vulnerabilities with Human Cancers. This is a summary of what I'm going to be talking about, and it basically discusses how the Fibropapillomosis is related to the genetic makeup of human cancers. So here we'll say wildlife populations continues to be under constant threat from human activities and wildlife diseases. Whether the population of species is located within close proximity of civilization or exclusive regions, nature has a way of controlling the population size of all species. An increased rate of infectious diseases over the past decade is an example of this. In fact, recent studies have shown that malignant tumors found on sea turtles, which is the Fibropapillomosis, shares genetic vulnerabilities with human cancers. The similarities of the two diseases suggest that both illnesses can be cured and treated using human anti-cancer drugs. And by studying the infectious disease that threaten the endangered species of sea turtles, scientists could discover treatments that could combat deadly diseases that affect not only the wildlife animals like sea turtles, but also humans as well. Here is a picture of the Fibropapilloma, and as you can see, it's mostly around the mouth and the facial region of the turtle, which is quite alarming, especially for species that need a feed and everything. You can see how the tumor greatly affects them, and you can see how it really progresses in other areas, like under the arms, or the fins, I should say, of the sea turtle, and the crevice area between the shells. So I mentioned that there are some similarities between the tumor disease and also human cancer in general. And what I mean by that is that there's certain viral expressions, and how those viral expressions are occurred within the tissue cells of sea turtles, and those similarities point to how it is related to human cancers. So here I have a list of some similarities. First one was the viral expression, and the other two here is the region in which the diseases take place. And this is more so to do with the anatomy of sea turtles. The F. lana HP2 and the HP3 HP4, those are both regions located within the sea turtles, within the genes of the sea turtles, I should say. And those are the genes. Those are the regions that are greatly affected by the disease. So there are some solutions that are being discussed right now. One big one in particular is the use of PCR, and in the journal articles, they suggest that the use of PCR is beneficial. However, it's not always accurate, and in some cases, PCR is used to detect infected tissue cells within sea turtles, but in certain circumstances, the PCR is not always right. It will insinuate that there's a presence of the infectious tumor in healthy tissue cells, which can be off-putting and could cause some confusion. Second, also like the tumor forming disease, like I said before, highly it can be treated by human drugs, and that's really important, especially when you're trying to save endangered species like the turtles. So here's another picture that I provided, and as you can see, this one really stood out to me because you can see that the tumors are forming, on the back, and of course the shell, unlike the other one, and that really kind of stuck with me because, as I said before, if the tumor were to grow around the mouth region, it could really harm the turtle itself. Whether it's feeding or any type of things that they need to do with their mouth, it's a struggle. So the place and where the tumor forms is also pretty significant as well. Here are my references and summaries. I believe we needed to have at least 3. This is the first one, of course. This is this article just captures the general idea of what I'm talking about as far as the threat of the disease, and all the information that's stated here is also the information that is stated in the summary as well, just in a different wording. But this is the one that really stuck up to me. This right here really discusses how the Fibropapilloma tumor is really prevalent in turtles that are older and larger in size, rather than the turtles that are smaller. And the reason it is for that is just because the turtles, over time, the tumor kind of progresses and becomes bigger, more the nature of it is more observable to the eye. So if smaller turtles were to be able to develop the disease, obviously they wouldn't be able to survive for very long. So in that case, I think people will see more of the disease in the larger animals, larger turtles, than the smaller ones. This article right here really went over the utilization of PCR and how it's used. Here it also talks about how it is very helpful when detecting infectious tissue cells, but it's also very tricky to use. And as you can see, PCR will falsely insinuate the presence of CFPHV in healthy tissue cells of turtles. And as a result of this, further tests must be performed for definitive answers. So you can see, it's not a reliable test, but it has proven to be helpful. And this is citation of the 2 figures that I've shown. The figure 1 with the turtle, where the tumor was around the turtle's mouth, and the figure 2 showed the tumor growing essentially around on the back side of the turtle and in between the shell area. And that is my project. Thank you very much, guys.